It's mine too. So just want to see here, I kind of getting every second word there. So Rita, I just want to check that we've got you fully, have we?
I think so. Yeah.
Perfect. Brilliant. Can you hear? Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay. 100%. Thank you. So Rita, the idea, I suppose, behind Tempted Talks is that we, like in Tempted, our whole motto and our whole mission is to help women to feel fabulous about themselves. And at the minute, then obviously, we're not in a position, because we're not in store, to help women that way to feel fabulous about themselves. So we really, I suppose, just wanted to introduce our customers to other people who we thought might help also in making them feel fabulous. And I suppose the idea being that while all this madness is going on, maybe we can just lighten the mood a little bit, or educate, or whatever the case might be. So that's, I suppose, what we're at today, and hopefully we'll do that for everyone watching.
Okay.
So Rita, just, I suppose, if you were to tell me a little bit about, I know lots about you from having met you over the years, but if you were to tell everyone here a little bit about you and about the background behind Atir Shapewear and how that all started for you.
Okay, so I hail from County Mayo, and I have worked in very many different work environments throughout my life. And then it's quite a while ago now, but I became ill. I got a stroke. And after that, I promised myself that if I recovered fully, I was going to kind of just really live my life and do the things that I wanted to do with it, so that at the end, I would at least have tried. Yeah. I always had an interest in fashion and style, but I set up a little business kind of about personal branding, really. So I used to work with companies or small groups around the whole area. A lot of it really was around, you know, presentation for interview or for meetings, that kind of thing. I worked with a multinational, I suppose I should say that. And I had worked really across the board from quality control through to finance, through to HR. So I kind of had a fairly broad experience, which of course at the end of it all really kind of stood by me in setting up the final business. So what happened really was I then was working with a company just in Mayo, and a group of women. And for me, like, I just think the way you present yourself, not for others, but more for yourself, makes such a difference. Because, you know, we all know, like, you know, the wardrobe can be on the bed and you can't see, you have nothing to wear. So, and yet sometimes, like, a piece of shapewear can just make such a difference. And I kind of was, even back then, just aware of that. So I was just talking through, like, that kind of thing, you know, shapewear sometimes can just help you feel better about the way you present yourself. It streamlines, that kind of thing. So one of the ladies that was there goes, well, I wear shapewear and I end up with 2 spare tires instead of the one I had. So out of that, just out of that, the idea was born. I had no notion of going down that route. Certainly at that stage, hadn't even considered it. And so, like everybody else that says the same thing, cliche and all as it sounds, I did have that light bulb moment where I went, hey, right, this might be worth exploring. And then I came up with an idea. Now, in the beginning, of course, the struggle was real, and it took us about 2 years to kind of just finalize the fabric that we were happy with.
Your fabric is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sorry to interrupt you there.
That's what it's about. Then I made up 30 pieces, and I sold them to my friends and family, and I made them pay for it. And then they came back and they told me what was wrong with it. So that was my market. They were my marketeers. So basically, then from that, I put that money back in and then doubled the amount we made. And then from that, like, it just grew. Now, this was in the middle of the recession, so it was a trying time anyway, but like, it just developed and grew from that, and turned into what it is today. Now, along the way, of course, just like yourself, I met many people who were hugely supportive, who goes, listen, we'll give it a shot. If it works, great. And if it doesn't, well, you know, that's it. We'll end it there. And we still trade into some of those boutiques that we started trading into 10 years ago, which, like, is great for us.
Yeah.
Just so this.
How many boutiques, Rita, do you supply all over Ireland at this stage?
Well, over 400, and every one of them sadly are closed at the moment. But, you know, it's time, I suppose.
We'll all be back open soon.
Yeah, of course we will, yeah.
Yeah, and all the occasions and the events and all of those that have been postponed will all be happening at that stage. So we'll all be in need of new dresses and new shapewear.
And everybody will be feeling well, and, you know, it kind of will just pass over as just another experience in life. That's where kind of hope, isn't it? That's like the way the whole business was born. And then we started off like with maybe 2 pieces, and now we have a wardrobe of 15 styles.
Okay.
So it's continuous development and always thinking of something new and different and interesting, you know.
Because I guess, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Shapewear has evolved like so much. I mean, when I think to like what my mum might have worn, even to like 10 years ago, what people were wearing as shapewear, like it has completely evolved, like the whole way, hasn't it?
For sure. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, I remember back myself, it's strange to think that now I'm working in that business. My mom, and like I'm kind of like older, she used to have, and she, like I'm 5'7", she was 5'1", and she was like kind of just tiny, and she used to wear a corset, you know, those things like with all the wires on them and the loops down the front, the hook and eyes. And I remember finding that upstairs in the bedroom and putting it on, and the top of it was at my neck when I was a kid now, and the bottom of it was down at my feet, my heels. And that's what I used to dress up. I used to think it was really cool and different. And now to think like that, I am, that's what I do for my life.
Yeah. How would you see the shapewear having changed? Like what, you know, the shapewear that's even, say, when you started out 10 years ago versus now, how has the product evolved for you?
Well, a lot. You know, like as I said, there was the corsets and then the roll-ons. You know, we heard about those, certainly did anyway. And then, like, even though we still have some of the pieces, we use some of the fabrics from the very beginning, the cast iron, as I call them. But to me, like, you know, over the last few years, like fabrics that are available now are just so comfortable, so easy to wear. And like, you know, shapewear, it's kind of like, it's about streamlining. The way I look at shapewear really is it's, you know, nearly like applying your makeup. You know, you moisturize, you tone, you moisturize, you use your serums, all of this thing. And like that, that's even evolving. And then you put on your primer, and your primer is your base for your foundation. And I look upon shapewear, it's the same. It's the canvas or the base onto which to build your style. So for me, I think that probably ways that shapewear has evolved, or that I like to see it has evolved, is it now sits right under the bust, and then your bra sits on it. So it's completely streamlined. There's no kind of sticking in, no ending halfway up your waist, nothing like that. Yeah. Then you just slip on your dress or your jumpsuit or whatever it is you're wearing, and you're completely streamlined. And like, you know, as we were saying, when you look in the mirror, you just see a better reflection of yourself, and you feel better about you. And I
completely, yeah, I do 100% agree. Like, what I love about your shapewear is the fabric. It just, like, when you put it on, it feels cool. Like, it doesn't feel hot and sticky and restricting. Do you know? Whereas it actually just feels kind of cool, and it's lovely against your skin. And I mean, I'm somebody who, when I wear a dress, I wear shapewear every day. But I wouldn't really know that I had it on me. I mean, maybe that's not the right thing. Maybe I'm supposed to know I have it on me.
That your shapewear, that you're comfortable. Like, it's about being stylishly comfortable, you know, and that you kind of feel that you have your shapewear on and you take it off when you're ready to take it off. Not, God, I can't wait for these pictures to be over, or for the dinner to be over at this particular event so that I can get these things off. It's just that you go home, you know, if you're changing out of your clothes into lounge wear, more comfortable wear, trackies in the evening, that's when you take it off. Or if you just take your clothes off when you're finally going to bed, that's when you should be taking your shapewear off too. You shouldn't be squished to within an inch of your life. It is about streamlining and kind of just creating a nice silhouette, and, you know, not bringing you from a size 20 to a size 18 or a size 16, but rather, you know, just like as I already said, that you see that you're smoothed, and that when you look in the mirror, you like what you see. Because sometimes I think, like, even though you're not going to admit it to the world, but sometimes I think that when you look in the mirror, if you kind of go say, yeah, well, I'm actually not too bad now today. It's all the compliments, because that's actually a form of confidence.
Completely, 100%. And I'm just noticing here, somebody's after saying there, Denise, I think it was, I just missed your name, basically saying that she wears it and she finds it like a second skin. And that's exactly, isn't it?
That's so nice. It's so kind.
Yeah, isn't it? Like, it's lovely to hear that, because that's, I suppose, how, like, I feel it's like a second skin on me. And I suppose when we're talking to customers at the fitting room and they're trying it on under a dress, that, you know, that's how it should feel. Because a lot of times people say to me, I can't actually feel it, like, maybe should I go a smaller size? And
no,
yeah.
I don't agree with that. I think that you stay true to your size. You know, there's no, you shouldn't size up, but equally so, you shouldn't size down. You shouldn't be squished. You know, that's what I say anyway. It should be comfortable, but at the same time that you kind of see, like, you know, a nice difference, that you feel better. And it's what you see. That's what always counts. It doesn't matter if the world tells you you look amazing. If you don't feel, you know, if you're not feeling it, it doesn't make a difference. Like we were saying actually there when we were chatting at one stage, you know, sometimes, like as I said earlier, the wardrobe's on the bed and there's nothing to wear. And, you know, like, because everyone, regardless of what size they are, have fat days and days when they don't feel bad. And, you know, you just don't want to go out and kind of be stuck in the darkest part in the bar or the pub where nobody will see you and you just don't really want to meet anyone, when something simple can make a difference. And I do get that shapewear isn't for everybody. You know, we do get kind of like a going over about it, but it is for the person that feels that they want it, that it helps them feel good about themselves, and that they're comfortable in it. You just go for it. Life is about, you know, making the best out of just everything and feeling good about yourself.
Yeah, no, 100%, like 100% agree with you there, Rita. And I suppose the other thing, I suppose, which people would often say to us is it's expensive, you know. And now, as somebody who wears it every day, on a cost per wear basis, I'll tell you, I find it great value. But what would you say, I suppose, to somebody who says, God, that's very expensive for what it is?
Yeah, of course it's expensive. Like, I totally agree with that, but I look upon it that it's an investment piece. And when you have it, you have it. And, you know, generally, like, if you look after it, like, and that means it's not gone into the boil wash and into the dryer after that. And but look after it, you can have it for somebody that wears it on a regular basis. You can have it for 18 to 24 months. But if you're the type of person that's wearing it on a regular basis, then you probably would have, you know, 2 of them anyway. But so for that reason, it should last you 18 to 24 months. And then for somebody that's just into the occasion wear and only wears it for special occasion, but then it's a lifetime investment.
That's it. Yeah.
But and the other thing is, like, it's a quality piece. It's breathable. It makes a difference. It shouldn't, once it fits you properly, it shouldn't roll up, it shouldn't roll down. It stays in place and it does what it says on the tin. So, like, I kind of stand over it. That it's an investment piece, and yes, of course it's expensive. I accept that, but at the same time, we probably are in the higher end. And like, as an Irish brand, everything's designed and manufactured here in Ireland.
That's fantastic. Yeah,
a design team that kind of draw up designs and then send them out to a supplier somewhere else in the world. We actually make the pieces, and for me, I think, you know, like, I kind of like to be able to stand over it. And the other thing is, I just don't want people buying it because it's Irish. I want them to buy it because it's Irish and it's up there with the best. You know, you shouldn't have to buy something just because it's Irish. It has to, you know, it has to be leading in the market it's in as well, as far as I'm concerned. And I kind of feel that we are doing that. You know, we kind of like get great support from people in the media. Like in the early years, the likes of Sonia Lennon, the Off the Rails, she was amazing in supporting it and was a big supporter of quality products. Maura Duran was another one. That was back in the day in the middle of the recession. Nowadays, like, we have bloggers who are absolutely amazing. And even over the last 2 or 3 weeks, like, the amount of bloggers that have got in touch with me asking for nothing, absolutely nothing in return, except, Rita, would you throw up a discount code, or do you want us to say something, you know? And that's the likes of Curvy Style, Get Glam with Gret, The Beautiful Truth, that other girl, the Wicked Blonde, like, all of those people have been amazing.
They're all so supportive, aren't they? It's fantastic community out there.
In a time of, you know, trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
But, so, like, Just going back.
Just one of the things you said there, I just wanted to come back to actually. You said something about people saying, "Oh, it can roll down," and that's actually something that people, before they've ever tried on our shapewear, your shapewear, and they'll say, "Oh, you know, oh no, I wouldn't do shapewear because it always rolls down on me."
Yeah.
Like that's the most common I think we hear about shapewear. What would you say to somebody who finds that that's what happens then?
What I would say is what's really important is that it fits you properly. You know, like sometimes there's kind of like, really as far as I'm concerned, a misconception out there that shapewear, that you kind of should size down, you should be squished to within an inch of your life. Your shapewear must fit you properly. It must be true to your size. You don't size down. It really doesn't make any difference. Its purpose, like I've already said, is to streamline. So if you buy shapewear, for example, that's too short on your body and it's just going to come into where your problem area is, then because you're, like, for example, on the middle of your tummy, so then you're going to kind of end up with a split where one part of your tummy moves up and comes out over it and causes it to roll down. So ideally, your shapewear, well, all our shapewear does anyway, and it doesn't roll. It sits under the bust, and then your bra sits on it, and it shouldn't and doesn't budge. And the only reason it will budge is because it's too short on your body. Now, we do bespoke pieces. We don't have to do them often. We do. So like if you have the lady that's 5'10" or the lady that's 5 foot, like for those, you kind of have to look at, designing a piece for them, which isn't a big deal. It's important that it's right. Like I already said earlier, once you have it, you have it.
Yeah.
No, once it fits you properly, and then with things like, the toners, the legs, once they hit the proper place on your leg, sometimes they're a bit skimpy and they're just kind of just barely coming onto the leg. Of course they'll roll. They're on that heavy part of your leg. They will roll. So it's to get the fit right. And once your fit is right, everything else will be right.
Okay. And I mean, I know you have a really wide range of products. We stock two of them. We stock the brief and we stock the toner, and we find they're the ones that work really well for our customers. But what would you find, I suppose, is your best-selling product?
Actually, our best seller, believe it or not, is the toner.
Right.
And the reason it's our best seller is because it's a really good all-rounder. It's the toner, for people that aren't familiar with the product, it's kind of like a bicycle shorts. It comes down onto your legs, and then it comes right up under your bust, and it has a built-in tummy panel, and it has a little two-hook and eye opening that goes right back, so when you're going to the toilet, you don't need to take the whole piece down. But it's to get used to that, like you just go to the toilet. So like if you do all, it's grand. So that piece, you see, it's really good with dresses, and it's equally good with jumpsuits or trousers. So that is... Yeah. It is our best seller. The high waist brief is also very popular, especially in the sizes 16 over. They just kind of really like it for their reasons. But the toner is by far our best seller. And another piece we're bringing out now, because there's huge demand for it. It's a bit like the toner, just that it's kind of for summer. But the side, some people have heavier legs that hit off each other.
Yes.
They just need something. We think that piece will be good as well, because it's something we're working on now because we have time,
Chaffing is a real thing. It's, yes. I mean, and I suppose that's why in a lot of ways,
like from size 12 up, just people that have heavier legs, they just find a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, I wear the toner all of the time, with winter and summer, because like I just find it supports my back a little bit.
Yes.
And it just gives me kind of a little bit more of an upright, even though you wouldn't think I'm sitting upright now, but it gives a little bit more of an upright feeling, I think, when you're wearing anything. And then in the summer, I find having the legs is great if my legs are going to chaff in the heat. Yes. I just find that really good. And it's good to see, like I suppose these type of times give chance to bring out things that you would never get the time under normal circumstances, because we're always so busy. Yeah, so it's great to see that there's a little wind is blowing some good,
Well, it always does. And like, I'm the type of person to be really straight about it. I love being in the workshop behind the scenes, just wondering what I'm going to do next. So my mind is always racing. Like, I'm kind of I'm more that type of person than I am the really outgoing person that's out there. So I kind of really enjoy creating and just coming up with new designs and just trying to kind of make things different and find out what we can do better as well, you know, because there's always room for improvement. So yeah, so there's plenty of time now over the next few weeks to kind of just take a look and, you know, keep marketing and keep out there too, whether you like it or not, you know.
And just in terms of sizes, I mean, we would stock from size 16, say, to 30, but what does your full range go from and to across all your products?
Okay, so we start at size 8 and we go right the way to size 30, just like you said, and we can go above that, but that would be like specially made piece. So because we find nowadays, you know, dresses, like they're kind of light and fabric is just like a little bit, I suppose, more flimsy. So we find that even sometimes for ladies that kind of don't have a lot of issues, they find that it adds substance, you know, so way I should say. Everything, you're okay. Everything shows. So every line, everything, every panty line, everything. So the shapewear adds substance, but we would have like a very good market for extra small, medium as well.
I think it's probably down to the confidence thing. I mean, you know, women just feel a little bit more confident when the foundations are right. You know, it helps us to wear things that we might have left in the wardrobe or left on the bed, because it's just not working. It's just not working for us, you know. So I think that's what makes it so good.
Yeah, and also shape more kind of like it's something nowadays that isn't kind of hidden in the drawer and just like you know, sneaked out and put on in the bathroom and taken off in the bathroom. You know, like shapewear is such a big thing. It's everywhere and everyone do it. So it's no longer the big dark secret. And like we do have shapewear for men as well. Like if there's any of them kind of watching in or watching it later, we think of them too. They're harder to work on though than the women.
Yeah, but you're no better woman to make it work though, Rita, too.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, and what I love actually as well about your shapewear is that it comes in the lovely little kind of satin bag, so it's kind of pretty, because it's like not necessarily something we associate with being pretty, but like when you have your little satin bag and it's so pretty and it's like, oh, it's nice, you know. It's nice to have all those touches, I suppose, for something, isn't it?
It's true, yeah. It's kind of like just a little thing makes a difference.
Okay, well, look, Rita, I don't know, I hope we haven't bored all our audience at this stage, but thank you. Like, I can see loads of people having joined in the conversation here, and it's brilliant to see that. It's both of our first ever lives.
Yes, lovely experience.
So look at it's gone pretty okay, I think.
Yeah.
But look, thanks so much, Rita, for joining us. And there is a couple of questions that I think have come up here as the live has been going on, and I'm not technologically able to manage them, but we will get back to each person who's asked a question and answer them privately for them, or we'll answer them in like on a post or something like that, so that everybody gets an answer. But look, thank you, Rita. I hope the next few weeks go okay for you. We look forward to having loads of Atir back in stock when all of this is over. But thanks so much for joining us today.
Not at all. Thank you. It was a pleasure, and thank you for your business too.
Thanks, Rita. Take care.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Now, so look, that's our first ever live done. I can't believe the nerves didn't kick in. Do you know what, Rita and I will probably be both having a glass of wine tonight once we calm ourselves down. But look, thank you all so much for joining in on our first ever live at Tempted Talks. We have a couple more, not a couple, we've actually quite a few more planned for the next little while. So